dare each other to come up and yell at the dragon. He's never been seen, not since Granddad's time. Dead as a doornail, I bet. Just wait here until dark and then come on home. Uncle says maybe you can get work at the manor. I smiled and nodded, suddenly choking back tears. My scanty possessions were in a satchel slung over my shoulder, including any yarn or embroidery floss I had managed to save from my mother's supplies before my aunt sold them. I didn't want to upset him, but this would likely be the last time I saw Hagen for a long, long time. My uncle had mentioned working at the manor to me as well. He told me to go to the caves to humor my aunt, and when I got back, he would take me to see the manor housekeeper about a job. But I had seen the doubt in his eyes and knew that it was a slim hope. I had my own plans, once Hagen and the other boys had gone back to town, and they didn't involve scrubbing floors. My aunt started down the trail, shrilly directing the boys to start throwing rocks, and admonishing me not to forget whose idea it had been to bring me to the dragon. I promised her cheerfully that I would not, snickered with Hagen, and even threw a few rocks myself. Either the dragon had risen from the dead, however, or it had been away visiting friends since our granddad's time. It appeared soon after we began our bombardment. The first thing we heard was a great rumbling and scraping, audible even over the sound of our shouts. Then a plume of smoke came out of the cave, followed by the beast itself. My two cousins took off, screaming like anything, while Hagen and I stood there numbly, staring at the dragon. It was brown and scaly and looked impossibly old, with a great rack of shining golden horns on its massive head. My throat was so dry that the sides stuck painfully together, and a cold river of sweat started down my back beneath my worn gown. Hagen touched my elbow. "Run," he whispered. He sounded as terrified as I felt, and I was grateful that he had stayed with me. "Run!" "You run," I said. I didn't think my legs would work. "I'll be right behind you." I felt the stirring of air as my brother wheeled about, needing no more urging, and took off down the trail like a young deer. My legs failed to carry me after. I was mesmerized by the ancient beast's great golden eyes. "What do you want?" Its voice rumbled and grated and hurt the bones behind my ears. "I am a virgin, pure and true," I recited as my aunt had coached, not knowing what else to say. My voice came out in a wheeze, and my legs were now trembling so hard I feared that they would rattle me right off my feet. "And what am I supposed to do with you?" The dragon snorted, and a ball of fire shot out and burnt the grass to ash not paces from me. Nothing. I'm sure that a noble knight will come to save me from your clutches." I blushed to say something so ridiculous, but I didn't know how else to answer. I wasn't actually in his clutches, and the Lord of Carleaf's son was the only noble knight for miles around, and was known more for his skill at dancing than his fighting prowess. "Are you a princess?" "No." "Then what are you?" "I'm the daughter of a farmer," I said, lifting my chin. "My name is Creel Carlbrun." "Oh, by the first fires," the dragon moaned. "I have no desire to deal with this." He shook his rack of horns. "I am old and tired and bored with all the foolishness that humans cause." "Oh," I said, feeling as foolish as they come. It had not occurred to me or to my family that even